All right, woke up to this morning to a little smack talk, man. Leo Santa Cruz is acting like he wants to fight Gervonta Davis on the date that was set aside for Canelo Alvarez. Look at little Leo. Look at little Leo trying to get some courage. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Also, shout out to the Patreons that support the channel. You guys really make it click. Also, thank you so much to the people that donate in the super chat and in the Venmo and Cash app during the live streams. We really appreciate it. You guys help us raise the money for what we do with this channel. Now, let's get into it with Leo Santa Cruz, Lil Keith Thurman. We'll call him Little Keith Thurman, Little Keith, because he keeps finding a way not to make fights with Gary Russell Jr. So, Leo Santa Cruz, and I do believe this was Mike Coppinger that put this out on Twitter. I'm pretty sure it's Mike Coppinger that did it. It might have been Michael Benson, but one of the Twitter news guys said that he had spoken. It's probably Mike Coppinger, seeing as it's PBC. So he said he spoke with Leo Santa Cruz, and Leo Santa Cruz was going to call Al Heyman and say, hey, man, can we get this date? Can we get that Mexican independent date with myself and Gervonta Davis? He said he's going to be watching Gervonta Davis's fight with Nunes, and he wants to move up and fight Gervonta Davis on that date. Wow. Huge fight, dude. Huge little man fight. Probably the biggest little man fight that you could make for that date. I would love it. I had actually said in a video, in the live stream, somebody asked me, like, what's going on with Gervonta Davis? When's Gervonta Davis going to step up and fight somebody? And, and I said, look, man, they're not going to really throw Gervonta Davis out there with anybody risky until they know that they can make a lot of money for that. And I thought that they were holding on to Leo Santa Cruz. The PBC was holding on to Leo Santa Cruz to make Leo Santa Cruz food for Gervonta Davis. If you recall, Gervonta Davis was supposed to fight Abner Mares in his last fight, but Abner Mares thought better of it and got an eye injury. But he got an eye injury, man. People were so mad at me when I said he faked that eye injury. But it was just like if there's ever been a lucky scratched retina, that was it. Because he was going to have a whole lot more hurt if he would have gotten near Gervonta Davis. Abner Mares and Gervonta Davis would have been a mismatch. As will be Gervonta Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. But I find it ironic that Leo Santa Cruz Leo Santa Cruz is kind of in a way, showing the colors. He's willing to fight somebody. He's willing to fight Gervonta Davis on that date because they figured that they might be able to put that on pay-per-view. They might be able to sell the idea of Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz being the Mexican fighter, Gervonta Davis being the black fighter from America. You know the recipe, peanut butter, chocolate. You get the Reese's, and it sells like hotcakes. That's what they're hoping for. That is actually the Mayweather model, right? The Mayweather model was he fought after he got past Oscar De La Hoya. Man, if you didn't have a Spanish-speaking name, if you didn't have a Spanish name, dog, it was real tough on you getting a fight. I think the only one that didn't have one was Andre Berto and Manny Pacquiao. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was it. It was Cotto, Guerrera, Ortiz, Marquez, a whole lot of that on May 5th and I think he was doing mostly once a year. He might have towards the end went to twice a year, but it was definitely popping off in either May or September for that Showtime contract. So, that's how they say, and then that's how they say that, you need the Mexican fan base to make big fights. Even when it was Floyd Mayweather doing it, for some reason, the boxing pundits found a way to give all the credit for the massive numbers to the underdog fighter who was fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr. But Either way you cut it, it is true. You got a big Mexican fan base of boxing fans on a holiday where people are already partying, already, doing their thing with their family. So it's just like boxing on that particular day is something that can feed right into that. And hey, man, if Leo Santa Cruz is the guy that can get them interested and get them wanting to buy those fights when they're hanging out with their family, hey, man, it could be Leo Santa Cruz. There's also a lot of risk that goes along with that fight because Gervonta Davis is so exciting. I think Gervonta Davis is one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. And, so, hey, man, I would take it. However, man, I can't make this video talking about Little Keefy. Why I call him Little Keefy, Little Keith Thurman, because you know dang on well that Leo Santa Cruz been ducking a couple dudes for years. The number one guy that all those cats, Abner Mares, Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz, all those dudes duck was Guillermo Rigondeaux. They wouldn't even be in this situation. If they were still at 122 pounds, was it junior featherweight or super bantamweight, however you want to say it? If they were still there, they wouldn't have that record right now. They would have lost to Guillermo Rigondeaux. But they ducked out of Guillermo Rigondeaux, ducked him, the whole weight class left and went up to left 122 and went to 126. Now you got another 126 pound champion that's right there in Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. is there for you, Leo. Gary Russell Jr. is wearing your name on his back, right? Al, give me Leo Santa Cruz. Leo Santa Cruz don't want Gervonta. I mean, doesn't want Gary Russell Jr. either, because he gonna lose to Gary Russell Jr. But it's really out of the frying pan into the fire, if you ask me, from Gary Russell Jr. to Gervonta Davis. But then maybe what Leo Santa Cruz is thinking, being the businessman, that he is. He also, I'm sure, owns a lot of beauty parlors with that dang arched eyebrow and hair mousse he be putting in. I don't like Leo Santa Cruz. I really wish Leo Santa Cruz would fight one of these other dudes. Anyway, being the businessman that he is, he probably sees Gervonta Davis as being slightly less experienced than Gary Russell Jr. and more and a bigger upside as far as the fan interest, because of all of the Showtime, like the up and coming Showtime fighters, right? Gervonta Davis is the guy that pretty much does the best numbers when you leave the Mikey Garcia, the established champions, right? And I think he usually does like between 450,000 pay-per-views, not pay-per-views, excuse me, 450 something like that views on Showtime. And for Showtime, that's pretty respectable. That's right around what Jamal Charlo did when he fought Adams. Those are respectable numbers. Those are respectable numbers. A lot of those numbers, I do believe, the reason that those numbers are lower than they should be is because Gervonta Davis hasn't really fought another named fighter since he beat Jose Pedraza. So hopefully those two things will mix. I don't know though if it's really a pay-per-view fight though. That's a hard sell on me, man, for that in and of itself to be a pay-per-view fight. But it could be it could be a big money fight if they have that fight in Texas, I suppose, if they could, I guess if they had it in Maryland. I just don't know how that's gonna turn out. But I would be really excited for the fight. And like I said, I would be really excited for the fight primarily because I want to see Leo Santa Cruz get beat up and be done. But let's see whether or not he would actually continue to hold his 126 pound belt if he fought up in 130 pounds, or whether I think he's the WB. Is he the WBA champion, or is he I can't remember what champion he is. I guess even in this video, I can take a second to pull it up. No, I won't do that to you. I know he's not the WBC, but the WBA had stripped Guillermo Rigondeaux for moving up 2 weight classes and fighting Vasily Lomachenko for the WBO belt. So we'll see if somebody would do that to Leo Santa Cruz for going up and getting beat by Gervonta Davis. But there ain't nothing gonna happen but him getting beat. So let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.